guys, and welcome to another Friday baking video. Today we are making pumpkin swirl cheesecake. I am so excited about this. I think this is the perfect recipe for Thanksgiving, a delicious dessert. It's going to be just creamy, amazing cheesecake, but just a little bit of that pumpkin flavor mixed in, so I'm really excited. Just a couple tips before we get started is, number one, make sure that all your ingredients are at room temperature. It is very important because it will affect the texture and the flavor of your cheesecake. Number two, you want to make sure that you have enough time allotted for your cheesecake, because this will take many hours before it is ready to actually eat. Otherwise, you will have cracks and dips in your cheesecake, so we want to be really careful with that. For the crust, you are going to need 3 cups of crushed graham crackers, 12 tablespoons of melted butter, and a half a cup of sugar. Now, this is a pretty thick crust that I'm doing here, so you could actually cut this in half if you wanted to. For your cheesecake, you're going to need 2 pounds of cream cheese, 3/4 cup of white sugar, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 cup of sour cream. And then for your pumpkin part of your cheesecake, you're going to need 16 ounces of pumpkin puree, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Very importantly, you are going to need a springform pan, because when you make your cheesecake, you need to be able to slide the pan off of it so that it all stays together. Now, I'm going to be using this Ninja food processor. You can use your own food processor, or you can also just use a bag to put your graham crackers in and crush them up. You also are going to need some sort of hand mixer or KitchenAid, because you need to make sure your ingredients are very creamy, so you will not be able to just stir them with your hand. Alright, so first we're going to start with our crust, and we're going to go ahead and put our graham crackers into your food processor or a bag and crush them all up until you have 3 cups. Alright, now that we have our crushed graham crackers, this is 3 cups, we're going to add our butter. Make sure it's nice and melted, and just mix it together. And then once you've got that sort of mixed, go ahead and add your sugar. So make sure you mix this until you've got a nice sort of a creamy texture. You want it all to be pretty mixed thoroughly, and you want it to be kind of moldable, so when you get it into your pan, you want to be able to kind of smush it down to what you want. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and take our crushed graham cracker mixture and put it into our pan. We want to spray it first so nothing sticks to it. So let's go ahead and just start kind of scooping it right into our pan. And we are going to go ahead and put these graham crackers all the way up on the sides, because I like a lot of crust and I want it to be up all around. I never feel like you can have too much crust. Make sure that you find some way to press this all down. I am using the bottom of this cup. You can use the bottom of your measuring cup if it's flat enough. Mine is not. Now we're just going to press this graham cracker along the sides. Now that our crust is complete and we've got a good crust, we're going to go ahead and put this in the freezer for 10 minutes or until your mixture is done. Now we're going to make our cheesecake mixture, and we're going to start with our cream cheese. And we are going to want to mix this until it is nice and creamy. We do not want any lumps whatsoever. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and add our sugar. We want to mix this until it's just nice and creamed together. Alright, so make sure you scrape all the sides so that you can get all the cream cheese off of it and get that sugar mixed in. Next, we're going to go ahead and beat our eggs into this mixture. Now remember, there is a fine line between over-mixing, so make sure once you see the ingredients are mixed in, you stop. Alright, once you've got your nice and smooth texture, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're also going to add our cornstarch. Okay, and again, beat until it's nice and incorporated. Now we're going to go ahead and set aside our cheesecake mixture, and we're going to make our pumpkin mixture. So that is going to include our pumpkin puree, and then all of our spices, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and salt. We'll just mix that all together. Alright, we just got this all mixed. It smells very delicious, very spicy. It's got all kinds of yummy stuff in here. All right, now that we've got our pumpkin mix together, we're gonna add half of our batter of our cheesecake mixture into it. And we'll just kind of dollop it right into it. I'm just gonna do about that. Let's go ahead and mix our cheesecake and pumpkin together. Ooh, this looks so good. Look at that. It's kind of turning all orangey, which is exactly what we want. So now we've got half our batter of the pumpkin cheesecake, and then we have our regular cheesecake. And now we're gonna go ahead and add our sour cream to just the regular cheesecake. And then just stir that in. No need to use your mixer or anything. Now we got our crust out of the freezer. Now we're going to add half of our pumpkin cheesecake to the pan. So just half of it. And then you just want to smooth that right into there. Now we're gonna add all of our plain cheesecake to the top of it. Okay, so far we have half cheesecake layer, half plain cheesecake layer. Now the fun part begins. We are going to dollop our spoonfuls of the rest of our pumpkin cheesecake batter on top of the plain cheesecake. So just kind of dollop it onto it. And this is what we're going to use to make our swirls. You're going to take just a butter knife and you're going to put it into your cheesecake and swirl it around. And this is where it's fun. You just get to make your swirls however you want. Alright guys, I swirled it to the best that I could. This definitely is my first time, so I like the way it looks. It's very pretty. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our cheesecake into our 400-degree preheated oven. Basically, we're going to cook it at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Then we're going to turn down our oven to 200 degrees and cook it for about 40 to 50 minutes longer. Do not open your oven door at any time during this process. After that, you're going to turn off your oven and crack your door until your oven and your cheesecake are completely cooled down. Once your cheesecake is at room temperature, we can now place the cheesecake into the fridge, and you're basically going to want to keep it in the fridge for 6 hours or overnight until it's completely chilled all the way through. Alright, after that very long cooling down process, my cheesecake has been in the fridge overnight. We're going to get it out and see how it looks. Let's see. I love the color. I actually think it turned out better than I was hoping, because when I mixed it earlier, I was like, oh, it doesn't look quite how I wanted it to. But it's actually very smooth on top. There's no cracks. It actually looks really good. What do you guys think? I am proud of it. Let's go ahead and try it. Okay, here we have a perfectly sliced pumpkin swirl cheesecake. Make sure that when you cut your piece that you use a warm, unserrated knife. It just helps the knife go down more smoothly. As you see here, we have pumpkin cheesecake on the bottom layer. Then we have a pretty thick layer of plain cheesecake, and then right on top is a very thin layer of a swirled pumpkin cheesecake into it. And on the outside, we have a crispy graham cracker crust that looks delicious. Let's go ahead and try it. Oh wow, look at that crust. That crust is really thick. It looks good. Oh my gosh, it's like the perfect amount of pumpkin, not too much. It tastes delicious. It tastes exactly like cheesecake. It's so good. I'm so happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Make sure you send me pictures of your pumpkin swirl cheesecake if you make it this Thanksgiving holiday. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Really popular right now, so it's awesome, but he's got a little scarf on as well and a cute little hat, and he's just a little bit larger than my other ones, but they basically match, made out of like felt and stuff like that. Next, I got a Santa! He's so cute. And he's got a little wooden rocking horse in one hand. He's got a hammer in the other.